Eagles fans, welcome back to Eagle Watch, your home for all things UWL football, brought to you all season long by Pizza Ranch of La Crosse. My name's Lucas, and next to me is the mastermind behind this huge win from this weekend, head coach Matt Janis. Coach, we're coming off a big one here. Yep. The Eagles went on the road all the way to Pittsburgh and took down nationally ranked CMU. And to be honest, you kind of ruined their day here. You snapped their 24-game home winning streak. So, coming all the way from La Crosse, Wisconsin, doing that to them, and the score wasn't even close here. We're talking 38-14. So you have momentum going into this weekend for the home opener against Wayne State. And we should really break down this game from this last weekend here. Talk about what went right in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think really, first and foremost, I think the way we traveled was huge. I think our offensive line coach, that was like his big project, and to get 100-plus guys, coaches, players, support staff, 11-plus hours away is quite a task. And I think it took Coach McGlenn, I think he might have started working on that trip in May, and it took him all the way up until pretty much the last minute. So I think we traveled really well. I think we spaced it out. We got to Cleveland on Wednesday night and kind of got the majority of the drive over with. And then Thursday we got to spend some time bonding as a group and having some camaraderie. And we went to Canton. We went to the Hall of Fame. So it was kind of cool to go through that and to see. I think a lot of our players for the first time got a chance to see Canton, and then was able to get to Pittsburgh kind of late Thursday night. And so then we felt like we were there. And it wasn't just like, hey, we got there, put our bags down, pick them up in the morning, and out. So I think for our players, I don't think they felt rushed on the trip. And then, obviously with the heat and having to prepare for all that. So not only are you on the road, but then you have an incredibly hot game, hot week leading up. And so for our players to kind of handle those little factors, right? An 11-plus hour bus ride, playing at really 11 a.m. in Wisconsin, and then having the heat. I thought we did really a phenomenal job from the travel perspective and getting ourselves ready to go. And then, to add on to all that, our first play was horrendous. We lose an offensive lineman that's a big piece, and Alex Cooley of our football program suffers a horrendous injury on that. And so to have to have all that, and then on the very first play of the offense play of a season, to have somebody go down is hard. But I thought our team did a great job rallying back from that. And Zach Milson did a great job stepping up and coming into the game for Alex. And really, I think the early part of that game was how we thought it was going to go. I think it was, when you play a nationally ranked opponent that's had a ton of success. I think Coach Larson's record is just unreal. It was 31-4, something just stupid good like that. Did a lot of different things on defense in terms of stunting, movement, different fronts that we were going to see, rolling different coverages. So they were going to throw the kitchen sink at us early. And so I thought we did a really good job on the offense side of the ball of staying within our rules, of our communication with all that. And then, on the defense side of the ball, I think early on, I think we got them out of maybe their base game plan. And so some of the stuff that we thought they were going to kind of consistently go back to, I don't know, I think there was a couple things that we did, but it got them out of their base game plan. And then by the second half, it really became a drop back kind of pocket passing game for them, which we as coaches needed to adjust to a little bit faster. But so I think, like I said, initially we took them out of their game plan, and then obviously on offense it was going to go back and forth throughout that first half, and it did. In our kind of the way we finished those last kind of couple minutes of the first half gave us a lot of momentum. I don't like the way our defense played on the 2-minute drive to end the half, but ultimately they kept them out of field goal range. They missed a field goal with that. We're able to take a 14-7 lead in halftime. We get a huge stop then in the first series of the third quarter, and then that's when the momentum I think kind of shifted, and we were able to kind of just continue to establish the run game and big passes on offense, and then defensively, as it became a drop back game, we're able to do some different things coverage wise and pressure wise to affect the quarterback.
Yeah, it took total control there, and you already mentioned it, the injury to open up the game. Though that is deflating, How do you think that impacted the team, from the right away? Did that just fire them up? Or they're playing for someone?
I think that's hard. I hope I never have to deal with that as a coach ever again when you have a player that's laying there for a long period of time and you got you have all that. So that's from as a player or a coach, I think there's such an emotional toll that just takes. But I think Alex was really positive with his teammates when he was getting carried off, and I think and we talked as a team, hey, this is what's going on, this is where they're taking him, so we kind of all knew what was going on, and then at the end of the day, they had a game to kind of finish up, and they played, and I think eventually their mindset shifted, and then after the game, it was all about Alex and trying to get a hold of him and call him and text him and all that. So
yeah, I think maybe some basic football knowers might think they're just a bunch of meatheads, but football is, sports in general, it's a culture, it's a family, and I think when something like this happens, people can see and bring that into perspective, the crowd can see, oh, these guys really care about each other. So let's talk a little bit about Kyle. He looked sharp, 24-32, 272 yards, 3 touchdowns. How did you feel about the way he commanded the offense?
I think that's probably the right word to use with them is the command. And obviously for Kyle now to go into it with, because this was our first game with Coach Yagi and our first game with a new offensive coordinator. And you could just see the comfort level that those two had with each other. Obviously, there's a lot on the quarterback. It's not just the throwing stats, not just the rushing stats, but it's also the command of the RPO game and pre-snap, post-snap RPOs that he has to take control of and understand what Coach Yagi's trying to call in certain situations, what he's looking for from, hey, are they going to give us this and we're going to run the ball, if we're going to give us that, we're going to pass. And so I think he had a great command of everything. I think he did a really nice job. What I love to see was stepping up in the pocket when facing pressure. I thought he did a great job with that and using his legs to escape. But, he got the game ball afterwards. And like I told our team, I think a football team is truly as tough as their quarterback is. And I think we have one of the toughest quarterbacks in all of college football right now. And I think that will reflect and continue to reflect as we go along this season.
Yeah, for sure. He wasn't alone. We saw also big games from Gabe on the ground and then Jack through the air. What stood out to you about their performances and the balance, I guess, you guys showed offensively? It's all around.
Yeah, I think Gabe's really good. And so I think, and really I think all of our backs did some special things. We used 3 or 4 different ones throughout the game, and I think each of them really did a good job. I think Gabe early on, I think he bailed us out at times. Hey, they had a free hitter. We knew that was going to happen at times, and was able to make a guy miss. I think he's got a great understanding of where he's at on the football field, like on the touchdown catch and on the one run. It's like you can kind of see it, as it's happening. That's a touchdown because he's just got that kind of that extra. There's something that clicks in his head, where he knows where I'm at on the field, and I'm just gonna finish this now. And you can see the whole thing, before it even happens, you can see it happen with Gabe. And then, I thought Jack Janke took some control of the game and had some great catches. And now to see, Jack step up within our offense, I think Keaton Arndt did a great job as well on the offense. And we had a lot of guys step up and make some big plays. Najee Mitchell early on and takes a bubble and rips it for about 15. Jack Rilling has a tremendously huge catch on a 3rd down. And so I think we saw other guys within that receiving core really step up and participate in that football game.
Still early in the season, but you're starting to see these pieces, kind of work together as one full machine, and I think that's just satisfying. It's got to be satisfying for you to see. So it's great offensively. Let's go to the defensive side of things. 4 turnovers, including that pick 6 by Sam Bumgard. How important was it to see that kind of playmaking on the defensive side?
Yeah, I think, early on it just felt like, gosh dang, we just keep getting our hands on it and we can't finish the interception, right? I felt like we affected throws, whether it was from up front or just with our defensive back and our coverage, and we just felt like we were just waiting. Obviously, Sam's interception does a great job with the undercut and then finishing it, right, and scoring points on that. I think that was really the true momentum shift in the game, and that kind of totally shifted the momentum there. Trent Mullen had a huge interception. That was a red zone interception. So they're driving. They had an illegal shift or something that took them back out of a touchdown, and so we needed to get momentum back. And Trent Mullen finds a way to make a pick and kind of a roll cover 3 there, and then Henry Walsh at the end. I mean, we've been working on some things with the defensive line and able to affect throw and gets his hands up and gets his hand on a ball. And so anytime you can turn over, you can affect the football. Like we preach all the time with our football team. It's like when we look at everything, like and how you're going to win football games because you focus on a team, and we have 6 identifications of what we want our team to look like. And the second part is the ball, right? Like the ball, the team, the ball, the Y-act, right? Like that's how we focus as a football team. And that ball, like for our offensive guys, like the ball is the program when it's in your hands. And for our defensive guys, like anything that we can do to get the football out. Like I tell them all the time, like I don't care about, I'll sacrifice yards for the ball any chance that we can possibly get. So go for the football all the time because the football changes the game. And that's really what happened in a close game that was close. The turnovers affected the game and changed the outcome completely.
Yeah, that it did. So you already kind of mentioned the big travel with this game. What does a game like this say about the depth of your whole team? And kind of talked about like routine. Like it's a road game like this where it's this far away and you kind of have this wonky routine. You got the win. Yeah. What does that say?
Yeah, I think, from a routine standpoint, we're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because we're just not in it right now. And now we're kind of getting into our game week now, like how it would normally look when we don't have a big travel thing. But no, I think it's a huge win. I think, anytime you can play a Division III opponent and that's a good team and you get a win like that, that's a great way to start your season. But I think at this point, at whatever it was, probably 9:30 yesterday morning, I think the book for us closed on CMU as a coaching staff, as players, and now it's all about, and we've kind of transitioned ourselves now into the next week. And there was a lot of improvements. There was still a lot of things that we need to do, that we need to do better. We can't have self-infliction wounds in the end zone or in the red zone. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot. The penalties or lost yardages down there. Can't have a blocked field goal. I think we had some things on special teams that we got to shore up, and we got a ton that we're still working on as a football team, and that's okay. Like we're not supposed to be perfect in week 1, and we're still building that as we go through this non-conference season. So a lot of work still to do, but I think at this point we're really on to Wayne State now, as that's going to be the next challenge here, and that's kind of how football works, right? It's just on to the next week.
That's right. Great transition point here. Obviously, you're proud of the team here, but it's a thing of the past. You got to celebrate the wins, but you can't just focus all on that game. Now we got the home opener, so let's turn the page here a little bit and discuss Wayne State a little bit. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Pizza Ranch of La Crosse.
Pizza Ranch serves buffet your way. Dive into our buffet featuring a variety of legendary pizzas, crispy fried chicken, and classic American sides. And don't miss out on the excitement of our Fun Zone arcade. Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
Whether you're getting ready for kickoff or celebrating after a big Eagles win, Pizza Ranch has you covered with their legendary pizza, chicken, and buffet. Pizza Ranch, thank you so much for sponsoring our show. All right, Coach, so let's talk a little bit about this home opener this Saturday at Roger Herring Stadium against Wayne State. What's the vibe right now?
Yeah, I think if you go up, you look at Wayne State, right? And first and foremost, this is a Division II program now. This is scholarship athletes, right. From all over the country. They brought in. They have a really good roster. I think the biggest thing that sticks out about them early on is they are huge. They are freaking huge. They're gonna look the part. They run. They play the part. Like they are huge. They are fast guys. And so that initially, right off the bat, is stuff that we have to take into consideration. And we've been really kind of trying to break down. Offensively, I think their quarterback is tremendous. In 17, I think he they do a good job with the quarterback run game with him. He's a phenomenal runner. Like he can touch the ball and he can beat everybody with his speed. And then he's got a nice set of pass concepts that he's really shown that are really his strength that he wants to do. They have a receiver from a transfer from Michigan that you can see they're trying to involve him as much as possible. And then they got a really running back that really runs hard behind a really big physical offensive line. And I think it's the same thing as you look at their defense. I think there's some tremendous speed in the defensive backfield, and then there's some really good physicality up front and with the front six. So we we are going to have our hands absolutely full. We got to eliminate big plays on defense, and then offensively, we have to be consistent, and we have to be able to set up long drives. I don't think we're just going to be able to go over the top all the time, and so we have to be consistent and chip away at everything there. And they're going to present a tremendous test for us, but that's what we want. I mean, we tried to bump ourselves up a level to play at this level so we can see the size and speed, so that we're accustomed to it when we get into our conference play. Like, that's the whole purpose of what we're trying to do in the non-conference season, is that we want to, as a football team, see that size, see that speed, and be challenged also with the coaching staff that they have, right, and the Division II coaches that they have, and be able to challenge schematically as well.
Yeah, very unique matchup, Division II. You talked about they have a pretty decent squad here. It's nice to have this game early in the season, to kind of like break in the team a little bit. Like, these guys are legit, but so are you guys. And I guess explain a message to Eagles Nation, because this is, first game of the year, home crowd's going to be there. What do you want to say to Eagles Nation?
I think our guys are fired up to be at home. It's been a long time coming. When you don't play a week one, and they've been in football camp since August 14th, and then their first game is on the road, away from everybody, and first and foremost, Luke. So our fans are unreal. Like, the way we traveled, there's no way Kearney had more fans than us at that game. Like, it was, when our kids come out and you could see all of our parents, they have a whole routine, by the way, like our fans. Like, I found that out at our banquet. Like, they have a whole routine kind of pregame. Like, it seems like it takes almost more organization than it does actually playing the football game.
It's a religion.
Yeah, it is. And so it was kind of cool. So they were on the top of a parking garage, because that kind of looked down at the stadium. And so as our kids ran out onto the field, like, you could just hear them, and how loud they were. And I think that means a lot when our guys were 11 hours from home in a new environment, but to look up and you have so many Eagles fans just staring down, you can hear them, and they're screaming and cheering and yelling. That's really special. And so now for our guys, like, we're excited to be at home now. Like, it feels like forever since we played a home game now. We have we weren't able to bring our whole roster to Carnegie, so to have now our whole team together, it's just gonna be special. And it's a home opener in college football. Like, that's just the feeling is it's indescribable, and so the more fans we can get in that place, the better, and it truly will be an awesome football game.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I know for a fact it's just going to be insane there. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a good time. So go get them this weekend. And for the fans that will be at the game on Saturday, if you're hungry afterwards, head on over to Pizza Ranch and devour some food. Coach, it's an honor. Every week we're going to cover all things UWL football, so listeners, stay tuned, and we will see you next week for another episode of Eagle Watch. Coach, go Eagles.